I've read over 100 different sales books, but these 5 I will reveal to you today will double, triple, even quadruple your current sales. You see, over the past 6 years, I've went from an underpaid, unhappy pharmacist stuck in a steel box of a facility to making over 5 and 6 figures in monthly sales and commissions for myself. And it was all because of one thing. Knowledge, actual skills that I've assembled over hundreds of books and courses about the strategies, the tips, the techniques I've learned from top salespeople and the top minds online. But the truth is, not all the books that I've read were winners. Actually, most of them were duds. So to save you time and money, I've assembled the best 5 books that I've used to get to where I am today. So whether you're trying to hit your first 5K in commissions or you're already making 6 figures in sales online and want to get to 7, I'll show you how to get there. Now you want to stay until the end because the last book was the most foundational, not only for my sales, but also for my mindset. Now book number 1 is Gap Selling by Keenan. Now Keenan is a genius when it comes to sales. Now what this book will teach you is about the gap. When he talks about the gap, it's the foundational space between their current state, between your prospect's current state, where they are today, their revenue, their weight, the situation that their company is in, and the future state, what I call the heaven state, where they want to go. Now, where the sale is made is between these 2 spaces. What you have to do as a sales professional is making sure that you're stretching the gap between hell and heaven. Because when you don't have a gap, you don't have a sale. Now, how can you implement this lesson from this book is asking the right questions during the conversation that get the prospect to think. Not just about where they want to go and the heaven state, because that's the easiest thing. You ask them, where do you want to be in 12 months? How much do you want to be making? What's your ideal weight? Where do you want to take your company? But you have to focus on the hell state. Most people don't really know where they are today. So ask them, what's your current situation when it comes to your sales? What's your sales process that your salespeople follow? What's the main objection that you're getting right now? Getting this right will be the difference between getting the sale and actually losing the sale because your prospect doesn't really see the gap. Book number 2 is Socratic Selling, and this is one of my favorite books when it comes to sales. It's by Kevin Daly, a seasoned sales professional, but it really takes the teachings from Socrates, an ancient Greek philosopher who used a very particular way of questioning to get real answers from people. You see, the sale isn't made by making statements. The sale is made by asking questions and delivering insights to your prospects through a question-based approach. Why tell people what to do and make it hard on yourself when you can just ask them? Your prospects have all the answers already. All you have to do is ask them and get them to picture what they want. Book number 3 is It's Not Luck. Now, this is not a sales book by any means, but this is what makes the new era sales approach so different. We don't just pull from sales playbooks and sales books, but we take the best practices out of each field. So Eli Goldratt, who is the author of The Goal and the author of this book also, he is a strategic management consultant, but the big takeaway from this book, the theory of constraints. The theory of constraints is the method that identifies the number 1 limiting factor around what's holding back your project, and it applies directly into your sales. Most people are feeling lost when they get an objection, trying to identify what the person means and using magic phrases to program the prospect to take action. When in reality, all they have to do is apply the theory of constraints to overcome the number 1 thing in that sales conversation. What's holding the prospect back? Same statement is true around your sales process. There is a number 1 limiting factor in your sales process right now that's holding you back from taking your sales to the next level. Most people try to solve way too many things, and that's why they fail over and over. Instead, use the theory of constraints to find out the number 1 limiting factor and try to solve for that. Book number 4 is Winning by Tim Grover. Now, Tim Grover, who wrote this book, was the coach for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and thousands of high-level athletes. And in Winning, he talks about what it takes to succeed. And I'll tell you, it's not pretty. If you want to be in the top 1% of sales in business, in entrepreneurship, you have to be willing to do what other people want. And again, it's not pretty. You have to work the extra hours. You have to challenge yourself daily to work when it's not easy, and you have to sacrifice what others aren't willing to sacrifice. Because winning will ask everything from you and will guarantee nothing. That's the reality of playing at the highest level. One interesting story that I have to share with you is I was asked to present for a company not too long ago, and the sales director there asked me how am I able to produce triple, even quadruple what everyone else is producing at the companies I sell for. And when I made that speech, it was so intense that the same day an employee from that company quit. She knew that she would never play at that level, but that's what's required if you want to truly win. And book number 5, and the real game changer, is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Now, Dan is a role model of an entrepreneur. He's been a client and a friend for years. He has had 3 exits as a software entrepreneur. He has built a media empire, and I'm proud to say that I've actually contributed to this book by having a writing retreat with him about 2 years ago. Now, why this book is a big game changer is because it allows you to think as a CEO. It allows you to get out of the weeds mindset, but also business-wise, and start buying back your time, focusing on revenue producing activities. That means that being proactive with your time, looking at what are the costs of my time, being proactive and mindful around your time. Are you spending time on $5 activities when you could be spending time on $500 activities? If you are, you must take actionable steps towards buying back your time. Ask my wife. I never do anything around the house but hire people to do it for me. I get on her nerves because I won't take time away from my laptop or work to do basic foundational things. I refuse to do it. I refuse to do them because I much prefer to pay someone to do things for me, assemble a table, wash the dishes, clean up the house, so I can focus on what truly moves the needle. That's why I have multiple executive assistants, a house manager, even trainers to always keep me in check, producing at a high level. So these 5 books completely changed the way I approach sales. If you read them and deploy them, it will not just revolutionize the way you approach sales and objection handling, but it will unlock a new wave of productivity and production for you and your goals. Knowledge without action is useless, and a lot of these books I actually discovered as I was implementing, as I was taking these calls, as I was making these reps. So start with the first book on this list, actually apply the teachings, and continue as you learn to fix your mistakes along the way. If you found some value in this video, make sure to subscribe, drop a like if you loved it, and I'll see you in the next one.